Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Superstars of Wrestling Review Series, July 10th, 1993. And this is a rather noteworthy show because this is the USS Intrepid Body Slam Challenge. We see several football players, Randy Savage, Crush, I think Tatanka, all fail. Lex Luger comes in a helicopter. Manages to not fail, and they give about 8 minutes of the program to this, and that is the babyface turn. I wish they'd talked a little more about why Lex Luger cared enough about his country to do this. Would have made more sense, but anyway, they didn't do that, and kind of that's where it's at. Smoking Guns against W.T. Jones and Rock Warner. Smoking Guns being pushed hard as kind of, I guess you'd say, the next babyface tag team to try, as they have been going through, a lot of TV time. Shots by one of the enhancement talents, Billy, up and over and around and through, hits a kick to the midsection and a spinning neck breaker, pretty well done. Billy Gunn, of course, still part of the business today, which is amazing when you look at this being 27 years ago. Some guys are meant for the business, and Billy Gunn's one of them. Billy Gunn always done better in tags than singles. Still true to this day, teaming with his sons. But anyway, double Russian leg sweep by the Guns, and they go pretty directly there, and drops the elbow, and away they go into, I guess you'd say the strong land. Assisted pile driver by the Guns. 1, 2, 3, get a victory face to face with the Steiners, talking about being new tag team champions, willing to face Money Inc. again, willing to face the Head Shrinkers and any other team in their way. Marty Jannetty, also part of the face-to-face promo, saying that he is ready for Shawn Michaels. He'll take care of Shawn Michaels and his new bodyguard, Diesel. The big guy doesn't scare him. And then we go to, I guess, what you'd call the feature match of the week. Kind of the blow-off to the Doink and Crush feud, at least a little bit. Kind of a little late. I mean, you're talking about starting that in February. This is July. I don't know that fans cared that much about the feud at this point. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But, really basic stuff. Attempted punches, and back rakes, eye rakes. Doink tries to use a bit of power. Doesn't work against Crush. Doink does get him over in a Boston Crab. Uses the ropes with the crab, and Crush uses power to press out. Basics, really basic stuff. Not a good match by any stretch. Crush brings the foot up and gets an advantage. Kind of uses the ropes to kibosh Crush. Ties Doink up in the ropes for a bit, and that leads to a bit of an advantage for Crush. They're stalking around on the outside, chasing after each other, and it's not very friendly, to say the very least. Doink uses the middle rope as a weapon and leverage, and then the match comes to a midpoint section. We come back to a Slim Jim commercial, and then we go back to the Doink versus Crush match. Not sure that this needed to go through a commercial break. Tilt-a-whirl suplex, or tilt-a-whirl backbreaker by Crush. Tries to get an advantage that he cannot keep, and Crush hits the atomic drop, which Matt Bourne promptly does not really sell. They aren't on the same page here. Anyway, Crush tries to go for the cranium crunch, manages instead to get kicked in the groin for his attempt. Doink tries to take Crush down with a sleeper hold, and I just remember feeling like this match is going on way, way too long. It's not satisfying, and I mean, they've probably given this at least 10 minutes, and I understand that it was getting over with kids at the time, but I even remember watching this as a kid and thinking they were shorter at WrestleMania, and that mattered more. And I mean, I was a preteen middle schooler at this point. Anyway, we've got both men spill out to the floor. Crush manages to press slam Doink on the outside. Doink sends Crush into the post, and the match is considered a double countout. That's your finish. Or actually, Crush still manages to try and keep the match going, but yeah, double countout is the finish, so nothing really gets settled there. Maybe they were still going to do some house show matches, or maybe they just didn't care enough to give us a clear finish there. Anyway, Shawn Michaels and Kevin Kruger is up next. Diesel in a sequin jacket, and Deans is here. Obviously, Shawn Michaels, this is a showcase for him. Multi-time, now two-time Intercontinental Champion, which at the time being a multi-time Intercontinental Champion was a big deal. Not so much now. I miss the times when championships actually meant something. Anyway, leapfrogs by Kruger, and Michaels just basically shoves him to the mat as if to say, really? You think you've got it? Anyway, there's a magazine article about Mr. Perfect and Shawn Michaels. They eventually do clash at SummerSlam in about 6 weeks from here. Dropkick under the chin of Kruger, and Michaels does slow the match down. Diesel just on the outside learning really psychology, and he even says that in some shoot interviews that just watching Shawn taught him so much. Clothesline from the top by Michaels, and then we kind of see a pile driver, which ends up being a finish for Shawn for, I don't know, probably 6 months to a year, the pile driver being a bigger finish, moving away from the back suplex. SummerSlam report in the pretty well first one. The first match announced is Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler. Hart basically says he wants to get even with Lawler once and for all. The debut in Ring of Men on a Mission against Miller and Bishop. Men on a Mission, obviously, two African-American gentlemen who managed to be very large. Oscar was brought in on a whim because Vince met him in the elevator. Yes, that's a real story. And he busted out a rap for Vince. Vince had called the office and then gave him a job. Mo and Mabel are your men on a mission. I used to always laugh when Jerry Lawler used to say men from a mission. Not because I think homelessness is bad, but basically they dressed like they were, well, not in the best of shape. Multicolored, tie-dyed stuff, mainly purple. And Mo and Mabel use their size here. Mabel, obviously, nearly 500 pounds, legitimately, and he's with the company on and off. Extremely athletic for his size. Hits a spin wheel kick and a drop kick in this particular matchup, which, when's the last time you saw a 400 plus pound guy do a drop kick? Mo not doing too bad for himself either. Hits a high cross body on one of the enhancement talents, and Oscar is very impressed with all of this. Obviously, the size gets to be too much for the enhancement talent, and they were trying to capitalize on the rap culture is really what they were doing. Mabel goes to the second rope on the inside. It hits a big leg drop from there. Of course, complaints would come out later that he was unsafe to work with, but it must have been pretty safe because they brought him back a bunch of times. face-to-face closing the program with Adam Bomb. Adam Bomb with the promise that, in fact, the entire WWF is going to get lit up, and Mr. Hughes says that he stole the Undertaker's urn, and it's the first time that someone's put the Undertaker in his place that way, and we close with that. We'll be back with more right after this.